Hello folks, Paddy with you here again. Welcome back to RC Cars UK. What have we got out here? We've got a little RC stand. Now my wife got me this for Christmas. I know quite a lot of you've got these for Christmas this year off your partners and stuff. I just saw Dan Mab's post a few days ago. He had exactly the same one. Right, so it is an alloy stand. I'm sure you've seen these before. They do come with a little magnetic tray. So I'm basically just wondering how easy are these to put together. I think they got like little foam strips and stuff, and it's a magnetic strip, that one, I guess, for putting your, I guess you're supposed to put that on there, and then all your screws will fall off it and not stick to it. They're a bit weak, these ones, aren't they? They're a bit crap, but yeah, I'm sure I'll put some, what I'll do is I'll hot glue some little rare earth magnets on there, so it just magnetises the whole strip, so if anything falls it should catch it. But to be honest with you, I will be using this for a 6 scale, probably, because I usually build 6 scales, don't I? And in all likelihood, I'm not so sure whether it's going to fit, so I'm going to have to put something on top of this, like maybe a piece of wood or a base plate or something, because I believe now that it's just not going to be big enough. These are obviously designed for 10 scales. What do you get with it? You get a couple of grub screws, you get one grub screw, a couple of Allen key bolts, and another Allen key hardened bolt there. They are hardened bolts, so that's something that's good. You know, always tell when they're this blackish colour, this greyish black charcoal colour, that the hardened bolts, which are much better than the usual Chinese sort of stuff that you get. Alright, let's have a look. Okay, so we've got our threaded insert there, bolted to the bottom. A little bit of Loctite on there because we'll probably be keeping this as it is, and we don't want this to come undone and move. And now this bit here goes on top. And this is obviously for your stand adjustability. To be fair, I didn't realise it was wind up, wind down. I would have preferred it just to be like a Lazy Susan style, where it just hangs on there on the top, like there's a bearing on the top. Not that it actually goes down when it spins, which is a bit of a bugger. I did think about putting a little motor on these and turning it into a little motorised Lazy Susan, but I guess you're limited for space on here where you could fit everything. So yeah, here we go. This goes on top. Come on, you f***er. That kind of line. There we go. We landed on one top. Jesus Christ. Okay, so we've got bottom piece bolted in. We've got top piece bolted in. Nuo fan. Wow, if that's not a Chinese brand, I couldn't tell you what is. Right, so we've put our little grub screw. This is where the grub screw's seated, in this little spindle here. Not quite so sure why they even bother, because it still turns somewhat unless you really tighten it. And as soon as you really tighten that hard-on grub screw on this pot metal here, it's just gonna mean that you're gonna create a bit of a groove, and then at some point you're gonna be going around and it's gonna start catching. So I wouldn't really bother with the grub screw. I just put it in so I didn't lose it. Right, true test. Will it fit a 6 scale on it? I highly fucking doubt it, but let's have a look. Okay, so here is one very muddy RC. Oh, okay, so we're getting some immediate issues with height. Right, okay. Let's try and wind it back up. See, as with all good stands, you can just remove it. You don't actually need to. It doesn't need to support your truck or anything. You know, just have it like that. Yeah, easy peasy. Let's get it out. Right, so if we fold this out a lot, woo, spinning. Right, and now you've got a problem. So it is a design problem for you, right? This spindle here has only been cut to, say, a couple of inches long, right? So obviously if you're in a 10 scale, you probably wouldn't have that much ground clearance, would you? That's pretty crazy. But here, obviously, we do. I'm literally going underneath the body, so let's just lift it up and push it in. Okie dokie. Right, well, we're in here, and we're off the ground. I guess what I should be using this for really is not really a work stand. Not really a work stand, is it? Because I couldn't really work on the truck. You notice the other wheels there is touching the floor on the far side. And yeah, I could I could push it up a little bit more, but my weight bias at the moment is slightly over that side anyway. So you're going to get issues because that thread's so short on here, with it's a little loose up top. So one issue that I've noticed with this, guys, is even when it's wound all the way down, it rocks. So let's just spin it. It gets worse as it goes up. You see that play? And the base is on the floor. Could get a little bit annoying. Could make your rig tip over if it went one way, really, if you had a bit too much weight on it. But this is supposed to be bolted to a workbench, but if they'd have just carried on the thread right the way up instead of putting the thread for the first ½ inch of this, then you wouldn't have that problem. It'd be nice and solid. There's a bit of R&D fail for you right there. Cheap. Just put a thread right up to here in it and just leave it there, and just, if you don't do it all the way up. What makes me laugh is this is quite a nice turn piece, but make no mistake, this piece here will have come off somewhere else. This is a repurposed CNC part this, I'm almost sure of it. Possibly screwdriver handle or some sort of tool, CNC tooling or something like that. But it wasn't made for this. Neither were these plates, they're just stamped into position. But yeah, just something I thought I've noticed, a little bit irritating. And the more it goes up, you'll see that wobble there, the worse it gets with the amount of play in it. But you know, I guess I'm picking faults with some, but you know, it wasn't £4, it was 20, wasn't it? So I don't know. If you went direct to China, you could pick them up for as little as about £8. So if you go direct to a wholesaler, you can pick them up for as little as about £4, with your name on it, printed on it. But there's minimum order quantities of that. So unless you're going to order 100 of these at a time, that price isn't going to happen. So yeah, that's something to consider. A £17 stand that's actually a £4 stand. It probably didn't even cost that. It probably cost, I'd say, production cost of this, you're looking at about £2 with labour. So yeah, there you go. It is what it is. Cheap and cheerful. It's pretty cool. But yeah, new old fan. Thanks, guys.